Hello. Hope you're all well. I'm just off to my new job this week. New start, another one. And as I'm driving, I just can't help but look around, and I'm just gobsmacked at the amount of things that I see that epitomise everything that's wrong with the world we live in today. So my route from work is from a place called Tidworth to Salisbury, and it's just country roads and fields and trees all the way. Now, about 30% of the trees and about half the hedgerows on this journey, it's a 17-mile journey, have been cut down. Alright, so they cut a few trees down. But why? Okay, for me it's all part of like this, whatever you want to call it, Agenda 21, New World Order, because that's going on right now. We're right at the final crux point of Agenda 21 for the New World Order, and it's only going to go one way or the other, I'll tell you. But anyway, part of Agenda 21 is to, so basically, if your silence on something is consent, I've come to learn. Okay, you might know that, you might not. So when 5G aerials go up around you, all in your area, and there's like 6 in your hometown, and you don't know why, and you didn't know they were going up, and you don't know, no one told you about it, and you look at them and go, I don't remember anyone asking the local residents, you know, on a signed petition or something, you know, that political structure, which is a big farce. But yeah, I don't remember anyone asking my opinion, asking the locals if we wanted these 5G towers. They just put them in, and then when nobody says nothing, there's your consent right there. There's the free will that they turn against you, because, you know, the Creator made us with free will. That's part of the deal. It's part of why the evil forces that manipulate our minds to corrupt this beautiful creation we live on. So anyway, they just push things like that for 5G. So all these, again, so what I was talking about was the trees being chopped down. Basically, where was all the letters? Where was all the announcements? Yeah, we're going to be chopping trees and hedgerows down. We know it's going to affect lots of wildlife. We know it's not good because trees are amazing, conscious, wise beings, believe it or not. Trees are conscious, yeah. And yet you're thinking, no, that crazy hippie fucking tree, I want to be a tree. I'm telling you, right, through resonance and through fucking synchronicity and through information and just through seeing the world with your new eyes, trees are conscious, and they are full of energy and information and power and wisdom. So what do? A big beautiful oak tree right there, I'm driving past now. Probably been there for about 300 years minimum, maybe 200 years, depending on history reset. But they cut all its arms off, cut all its limbs off, and leave it there a stump. It's like they don't even kill the tree, they mutilate it, and then they leave the stump there. So that tree has just been mutilated, for want of a better word. It's mutilation of trees. There's no need for it. This road, I'm on the road now. I can't turn the camera around because I'm driving. But if I could, it's like they leave a few up, and then there's a big gap of just trees and hedgerows cut down for no reason. Now, piece of information I've come across is trees and hedgerows are one of the only things and the best things that can stop the 5G signal getting everywhere it needs to go for their plan. So it makes sense, you know, everything's multifaceted to these controllers. So when they're cutting the trees down, it's to make sure not as much carbon dioxide can be taken out of the atmosphere, so they can push the propaganda of carbon tax and global warming and all that. Greta Thunberg, you know, watch the Wakey Wakey video. He's put it up 6 times. Yeah, I had to do a little cut there because I got a phone call. So yeah, it won't be long before YouTube removes my channel. Because censorship is all the rage these days anyway. Yeah, so much for free speech and freedom of human rights. Anyway, all this multifaceted, trees being cut down, hedgerows being cut down, it leads to wildlife, you know, dying, you know, from insects to birds to foxes and land animals. All is important in the circle of life, as Elton John would say. All is designed, you know, with a Fibonacci sequence embedded in it. my mind was so numb. I just thought, I've already learnt everything. I've already seen this road. I've already seen these trees over and over again. But once you become awakened, label, you start seeing things with new eyes. I would almost call it childlike eyes. I have a passion for learning and knowing how things work. So my entire life I've studied what scientific mainstream and what apparent cleverer and better and brighter minds than us have discovered already. They've already done the groundwork and the experiments and all that, so you can trust what they say, of course you can. So I trusted them, and I learned all the textbook stuff, and I regurgitated it, and I could hold it all in there. From astrophysics, which is a false science, that's a pseudoscience in itself. Astrotheology is the real science of the cosmos, particularly Vedic cosmology. You know, some of you may have heard of zetetic astronomy. Observation trumps everything. Trust me, that's the way to contemplate the sky. But yes, where was I? Yeah, I keep getting sidetracked. My apologies. So when that wakey video comes back up, which will be the 7th time he's uploaded it, no doubt YouTube will take it down again. I'm going to download it, and it's the only video you ever need to show anyone that tries to tell you climate change is a real thing. So basically, yeah, I can't wait till he puts it up again, because the guy is a genius. Check out his channel as well. He's one of the best all-round flat earth spirituality, you know, consciousness channels around, and he's taken it upon himself to go out and do a bit of undercover work on behalf of us crazy flat earthers. Won't be long before they're calling us homeland terrorists, let me guarantee you that. A bit like the movie Fight Club, they're going to say that's us, and they're going to come after us at one point. Paranoid! Well, just because I'm paranoid doesn't mean it's not true, eh? So now I'm driving through a place called Porton Down. If you look on the map of Great Britain, England, southern England, right in the middle, just sort of 50 miles above the Isle of Wight, on the mainland, you'll see a big institution. It's called Porton Down Chemical Weapons and Biological Facility. And it's been here for years, and I've actually built some monkey cages in there, believe it or not, about 20 years ago. And I've always thought, okay, it's a place where they obviously try to find cures for diseases like anthrax and stuff, and you know, there must be a reason they got that there. Yes, and then, you know, I never really put two and two together, even though they're pretty much shoving it in your face. The only reason that an institution, it's massive, it goes in underground bunkers. I'm looking at it on both sides of the road now. It's got about 50 or 60 head buildings, all with their own department, all with their own little specialised areas of expertise. And they make arsenic to anthrax to fucking AIDS to coronavirus, I bet you. It's all biological weapons, you know, mustard gas, nerve gas, chemical and biological weapons, and they're all here. They're all here now, and this is where they make it. And they cordon it all off, and they fence it off, and they put fencing around and red flags up, and then they put signposts saying military controlled land, do not enter, do not, so you're not allowed in. And we'll go, oh yeah, can't go in there, you know, it's military land, it says don't enter. Yeah, military, right? I've got nothing against people in the army, you know, squaddies, and I know I live in an army town, so a lot of my friends have been in the army. My dad was in the army. Everyone's got someone in the army they know. But the actual people that run the army, the military force, which is the government, they have the power of the word of government. Just a quick one, I know you all probably know, because truth is going really fast these days and people are catching on. Govern is to rule. Mente, in I think it's Hebrew, is mind. Control the mind. And every country is run by government. Every country is run by mind control. It's truth in plain sight. They put it, they not only do they put it in our faces to show us, so it counteracts our free will with our silence as the consent, but they mock us. They mock us at the same time as they do it, because they love to take the piss. It's a fantastic way of training our powerful and divine minds. Very powerful and very divine. You can manifest your reality. You know, we all say PMA, positive mental attitude. We've all known that. It's true. I have manifested so many things in the last couple of years, especially this last year. This is my 4th year that I've been what I would class as the label awake, but when no one's really truly awoken. Not yet, anyway. So yeah, I've manifested things that have happened. Things, numerology, synchronicities, syncretisms. My bullshitometer is like on level 10 right now, and it only goes up to like 12 levels. My inner resonance is absolutely, I mean, the thing is, it sounds like you're showing off or being egotistical when you say these things to people, and they think, oh yeah, you're fucking enlightened, aren't you? You're the spiritual warrior who knows all this important information, but you can tell me, but you'd have to kill me, right? I am so upset and sad. One of the things about this journey is I can't believe, and I'm sorry to say this, right, because I know a lot of you guys, if you're watching this, there's only one reason, it's because you're already a truther, because they don't let my channel come up on any recommended things or search feeds for your average person that doesn't look into this. But yeah, the future is malleable, the present is malleable. Everything is malleable to your manifestations and thoughts. Thoughts are just as powerful. They're the founding. I don't want to say action, because that's my next word. They are the founding thing you need to do before action is taken, and then when the action is taken, that is the manifestation in progress, and the ball starts rolling. And this works on the negative side as well. I'll just warn you that, you know, if you're constantly thinking bad things, like say you're just moping around, or if you drive your car every day going, I'm going to crash, I'm going to crash, I'm going to crash, I'm going to crash, you're going to crash. Trust me, you will crash within a week. You'll manifest it. Okay? You can create a safety bubble around you of your own power and your own divinity. That's what they don't want you to know. That is what they don't want you to know. Yeah, sorry, that is what they don't want you to know, that you are a powerful, special, divine, powerful being. Okay, I don't believe in Christianity or you know, the Muslim faith or a religion as such, because religions are just it's a gate for a when you find out you're a spiritual type of being, which we are, they throw religion out there to try and sort of get you. It will give you enough that your brain goes, oh, that's the fantastical magic that my brain was craving, and my resonance was telling me something was, you know, was more than this life. But then they hide it and block it, and they say, right, yeah, religion means you worship, and if you're bad, you'll go to hell, so you fear God and devil, and then the story of Jesus, and then there's the Roman Catholics and the Jews and the Protestants and the Christians and the Muslims and the, you know, all these different religions. They're all different little control sects. Okay, it's like governments of spirituality, I'll call it. Governments rule the physical realm, and you know, in our day-to-day lives, the bills, the law, the money, you know, where you can live, what, you know, all that physical, more trees, chop down, all that physical jargon, which they say to us is what everything is about. Okay, and churches, basically, I'll call them the governments of spirituality. Yes, but the true, in my opinion, there is one true God. We can call him God, call him Allah, call him whatever you want. They're all talking about the same God. Most people call him the creator. I say him loosely. I'm not saying it's even man or woman or either. Something else totally different. It might be an energy force. Yahuwah, Yeshua, the Most High. But I will say this: I've been an atheist for 35 years. I'm 41 years old now. I started my opinions and beliefs started changing five or 6 years ago when I started. I'm sorry, I'm going to say it again. Waking up, and you can find out things. You get downloads of information off of this place, this realm. The information is out there in the ether. So you know, sometimes you know when you get like a eureka moment. Okay, well, that is a download of energy that's always been there, because everything that's ever been thought, everything that's ever been made up, drawn up, there's nothing new under the sun. I'm sure you've heard that. It's all been done, and the information is out there, and you can tap in to the spiritual realm where all your ancestors have been, where all the architects of this place are, because even though there's one God, I do believe he had to create some lesser style gods, let's say, to help him create this place and to help him run this place. Angels, you know, you hear about the Titans, you hear about the, you know, the bad gods and that as well, and it all sounds like a fantastical story, which sort of the Bible half sort of tells you, but they make it a bit smudged truth, and so it's like you'll come to a dead end, and they muddy the waters. But yeah, I think there may be some sort of, well, it is spiritual warfare we're in right now. I can guarantee that. You can just feel that when you know. But yes, it wouldn't be surprising if there's some sort of battle going on between these beings that are far more, well, I was going to say far more powerful, but far different than us. So yeah, but basically, sometimes it can be a curse. But all in all, I've never felt so liberated, so aware. I'm going to say understanding, but I'm still only human, because I always like to think I see the other side of the coin, but I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect, but it's a great journey. You don't want to harm nature. My love has intensified. I understand what love is properly. I always did, because I guess I've always been this way inclined to act, but you just start understanding things that you couldn't possibly understand before, and you're answering questions. So I'm answering questions to myself now. I find out things now. I prove things to myself through research and through testing and actual natural sciences and testable, repeatable, observable things that you can do to prove things to yourself. And I am answering questions that 5 years ago I didn't even know how to comprehend the question. But I can now comprehend that question. I can ask myself that question, and I can find out the answer to that question. To get to that point, you have to go on a little journey, and it's basically so they've used the term brainwashing on people, so people think it's just like, people might call me a brainwasher because I wake people up, because I think everyone has a right to know the truth and information, and the truth will set you free. So they might say, I'm trying to brainwash you, but the truth is, the whole schooling system that your children, my children, everyone's children, me and you, unless you were lucky enough to play truant all the time, or your mum and dad were good enough that they said, don't worry about going into school too much. But schools basically all have turned us into very, very, very docile creatures indeed. And it's not just school, but that's part of it. So I look around and I'm flabbergasted. When I go to I work on building sites, I do all sorts. I'm going to do a bit of this and a bit of that. When I speak to people, sometimes I have to act dumb. I have to act like because they want to make small talk with me and stuff. I can't do small talk anymore. For me, conversation is deep and intense. It doesn't have to be intense all the time, but conversation is deep, because there's so much deep stuff to talk about. Most people just want to talk about, did you watch EastEnders last night? No, I don't watch telly anymore. See the football? No, I don't watch telly anymore, or read the newspapers. See what's going on in the news? No, I don't watch telly. I don't watch the news. I don't read the newspapers. But do you know about the politics, the Prime Minister? No, I don't vote. I'm not interested in it. It's a farce. Oh, what? So you don't know what's going on there? No. So if someone asked me now, I used to be able to name all the Prime Ministers and the Presidents all around the world, some of the monarchies, a lot of their high-ranking politicians, and all blah blah blah. I couldn't fucking name half of them now, and I'm glad, because I'm not interested, because they make you think that by not paying attention, you'll make your vote count, they say, because if you don't pay attention and don't vote, you're not helping your neighbour, because he's voting, so you owe it to him to vote. Absolute bollocks. They play on your conscience, they play on your dumbness to make you go vote for A or B. We all know candidate A or candidate B, blue or red, Conservative, Labour, programming colours, blue and red make purple. Do the research. Shithead A versus shithead B, and you go, shithead B is slightly less of a shithead. Go on then, shithead B. Go on, make the change. Doesn't matter if you vote shithead A, shithead B, or they both fucking die and shithead C comes in. That government, whoever they might be, will carry out the exact same agenda and plans they were going to anyway. They will simply change it a little bit. So, if Labour get in, they say this. What happens when a politician says, we'll do this, we'll do that, we'll do this? They get in power. Same old shit. Conservatives, we'll do this, we'll do that, we'll do this, they get in power. Same old shit. Let's go back to Labour. Same. And you're like, when are you going to fucking learn? I voted Brexit, right? I voted to come out of the European Union, because in construction, I thought all these Polish and Eastern European people, our brothers, by the way, I thought they were all just coming here to take our jobs and ruining our economy, and British jobs for British people. They were turning me into a mild racist, not just against race, colour of skin, but any sort of difference of colour and dividing. So, countries, borders, Poland, Russia, Italy, Spain, Turkey, whatever, every country, we're all divided and we're all separated, and they try to keep us that way. Okay? So, now, I'm like, you know, we all voted Brexit. It went on for years and years and years, didn't it? And what's happened? How's your life changed now? Now we're out, we're in. Changed a fucking bit. Ain't changed a fucking bit, has it? I'm sorry for swearing. It matters not whether you vote in Brexit, out Brexit. Even if Nigel Farage had got in there, right? Nigel Farage, I actually is probably the one politician that I can say I have any inkling of any type of liking for. But even if he got in, and it was the you know, National Party, what they used to be called, not the BNP, but the you know, I forget the name of his party, UKIP. Same agendas would be carried out again, even though he's all for, like, because basically he's pushing the British, you know, the racism card, the fucking British jobs for British people out of Europe, and it's all division again. It's all to keep us separate and at war and at loggerheads, to keep us arguing with each other. So again, politics basically, I'll round it up. Don't vote. This is my best advice to children and adults alike. Don't vote, because it's a load of shit. I mean, a good example is even when UKIP didn't get into any seats in Parliament a few years ago, when I used to know a little bit about politics, I think they got something like 65% of the overall vote of the country, 55 to 65%, but because they didn't get enough in these individual council seat areas, they got about 5 or 6 seats in the House of Commons, and Labour and Conservative, that got sort of the other 25% each, give or take, ended up with like 90% of the seats in the Houses of Commons. So even if everyone does vote, fucking they rig the votes as well. It's this whole system and earth and game is rigged from the start, and it's rigged so you fail, and so life is difficult for you unless you comply and be a good little robot. So if you know that, well, my way, if I'm playing a rigged game, I've got no problem bending the rules. No problem bending the rules whatsoever. If they were playing a fair game from the start that wasn't rigged, then okay, cool. But this isn't just a game of chess or a game of Risk or Monopoly. This is a real one. This is your life. So this is your life, and they've cheated on you already. They've made a game that's flawed. So go into protection mode, bend the rules, unplug yourself from the system, unplug yourself from this money matrix we live in, because when you do, they have to let you unplug, or you become a glitch in their system. And I'm on my way to unplugging from this system. Yeah, so I'm going to leave it there because I'm just about to arrive to meet Job. I know I've rambled a bit and I've gone on a few different tangents, and there's probably a few things in there that I was talking about that I forgot to finish, because as you're driving and looking around and just rambling in a car, your mind wanders, because there's so much information to learn. You thought you'd learn it all at school, you thought you'd learn it all in your job, you thought you knew everything. Oh, I'll tell you what, I've learned more in the last 5 years than I've learned my entire life. More important information as well, definitely. Anyway, that's that one over. Peace out, people. Much love to all. Be kind to each other. Love your kids. Piece of advice for the day. Tell your kids, in fact, never let your kids stress or worry about homework. Never. I promise you. Because it's a load of bullshit. It's just another way. They take your kids off you for 6 hours a day anyway, and you thank them for it because your kids are so stressful because of all the fucking vaccinations and that they've had. And then they say, oh, by the way, we've given them some homework assignments as well. So when they get home, when they're meant to be playing and relaxing and having a good time, bonding with their family, no, they're doing more fucking shit. Spelling. Go on to that one another time. But yeah, my kids, twin daughters of 7, 11-year-old boy, and they come home under pressure constantly. Oh, I haven't done my homework. And my ex-partner, who's a good mum, don't get me wrong, she's like, do your homework. Kids shouldn't have to do fucking homework when they get home. I don't give a fuck if you're doing your GCSEs. Maybe a little exception if they were even important, but they're not. That's just a fallacy. The GCSEs should be your robot degrees. How much of a robot are you? You get a GCSE because you read the textbook and you can repeat it back to me. Well done. Now you can go to university. You will owe us £30,000 for that. Well done, robot. You know? I don't know. Anyway, I'm not a doom and gloom monger. I'm not a monger of fear. I simply see things and say it how it is. And that's what happens when your frequency raises, which is what happens as you're awakening. And yeah. So anyway, peace and love. Next time.